And last night after the game, there were already people camping out in the rainy, cold weather to get one of those. And I hope they all got them. Everybody who spent the night camping out in tents on concrete, the Gaetti bobblehead, the giveaway today. And it culminates just a wonderful weekend for Twins fans, and the Twins organization, I think, has done just a phenomenal job bringing these Twins greats from 1987 back, and a lot of Twins employees who are no longer with the organization have come back this weekend as well. It's just been a fabulous weekend.
Well, Gary Gaetti saying it best, on my birthday, best birthday present he's ever had.
Santana delivers strike one to Kinsley.
Being inducted into the Twins Hall of Fame and celebrating the 20-year reunion of the 87th ball club.
And we'll have Gary up here later on this afternoon. Here's a pop-up foul over the Ranger dugout. 2 strikes.
While opponents hitting only .220 off of Johan Santana, right-handers hitting .233, left-handers only .180.
And a one-hopper, skip to Punto. Low throw, and Morneau again with such a soft glove hand on the backhand side. That's a great play by the Twins first baseman.
Well, I think he watched Kent Herbeck catch that low throw from Gary Gaetti.
Yeah.
Justin, and you get first basemen like Herbeck, and right here Justin Morneau. Boy, as an infielder, they saved you so many errors. Nice little pick right there, keeping his eye on that ball as it kind of came up on him.
Nice way to start the ball game. Get challenged with a tough low throw, and he made a nice play for the first out. And now ball 1 to Brad Wilkerson. Down the line, but foul. 1-1. We know that the weather certainly isn't the best in most of the upper Midwest, and our thoughts and prayers go out to the southeast part of this state, hammered with so much rain and the flooding conditions there. And if your schedule allows it, just stay inside and watch Twins baseball this afternoon. Wilkerson takes low, 2-1.
Well, Johan Santana with a good fastball in the low 90s, a hard slider, and then probably one of the game's best changeups. Fastball away, says Mike Redmond.
Fouled back. You mentioned that Santana has struggled against the Rangers in his career. The complete game, of course, the shutout. Among the league leaders in every major pitching category. Second in strikeouts to Eric Bedard.
Third in ERA with a 3.02.
2-2 to Wilkerson.
As you know, year after year, clubs make a lot of changes, and Santana, you have to look at how he pitched against Texas earlier this year. And he beat the Rangers in Arlington 7-1, 7 innings for Santana, a season high 13 strikeouts.
And his first strikeout of the afternoon, 2 down. These are not the Rangers that Santana has pitched against in prior years.
That's what I'm saying, is that good fastball right there. Not a lot of at-bats for a lot of these guys against Santana. The most for this guy right here, Michael Young. 20 at-bats against Johan, 7 hits, 5 home runs against Johan in the 20 at-bats, hitting .350.
Fastball missing inside. Young with 7 home runs on the year. The Ranger leader is the guy who just struck out. Wilkerson with 17 home runs to lead the team. And so it's possible that this Ranger team, known for its power, great run production, they may not have a 20 home run hitter this year, which is unfathomable. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Johan, 28 years old, from Venezuela, in his 8th season with the Twins.
Foul back.
Young in his 8th season with the Rangers. Mentioned it the last couple nights. Won the American League batting title in 2005 for the Rangers when he hit .331. 3-time All-Star.
Changeup got him. A very clean 1-2-3 first inning with a couple of strikeouts for Santana. And he'll face Casilla, Mauer, and Hunter. Different lineup for the Twins again, with Mauer moving up to the second spot, Hunter up to third. Trying different combinations, the manager is, to try to find something that'll click. Inside, ball one to Casilla.
Millwood with a fastball, a curveball. It's a hard, almost like a hard slurve, and a changeup.
1-1. Casilla's hit in this series came on a swinging bunt, where he was running out of the box and chopped the ball into the turf and got a base hit. Tries to bunt here, and it's 1-2. Casilla's alternated, hitting leadoff, ninth. Trying to get aboard here and see if the Twins can get an early lead. Bouncer to short. Young has it. Over to Saltalamacchia, one away.
Well, Millwood in his second season with the Texas Rangers. Second season of a 5-year contract he signed with the Rangers as a free agent.
Gerald Laird's done a nice job behind the plate for the Texas Rangers in the DQ defense. He's lined up to catch Millwood. Then Saltalamacchia, Kinsler, Young, and Vasquez in the infield. In the outfield, Wilkerson, Bird, and Cruz. One down, and here's Mauer looking for his first hit of the series. And Millwood starts him with a strike. The Rangers finally got somebody to bite through free agency, a pitcher, to come and pitch for them. Fly ball to left, and Wilkerson hardly has to move. Out number 2. Rangers over the years have thrown a lot of money, a lot of offers at a bunch of different pitchers. They couldn't get anybody to sign until they got Millwood.
Well, Millwood responded last year. 34 starts, 16 wins for the Rangers. He's been on a disabled list, missed almost the whole part of the month of May on the DL with the left hamstring injury. And one thing that Mark Connors, the pitching coach, and Millwood have decided to do, rather than work off that third base side of the pitching rubber, he is now working off the first base side of the pitching rubber, so he can establish that pitch a little bit better on the outer half of the plate. There's Mark Connor right there, the pitching coach.
1-0 to Hunter. And Hunter with a sharp single to left with 2 away in the first.
Well, Millwood, a lot of times, pitchers, I worked off the third base side. He has decided to go to the other side just to try to hit the outer half of the plate a little bit better. The follow through as we see that right leg come over the left leg. Takes a lot more pressure off that shoulder.
And now Morneau. Morneau showing signs of breaking out of a slump. He is in a home run slump, and his chances of breaking that here today aren't very good. Millwood typically hasn't given up a lot of home runs in his career. He hasn't given one up in his last 10 starts. See if Justin can change that. He takes low, 2-0. A high fly to deep center field. Bird going back for the catch. Morneau just missed it, but that's been the story of the last 4 weeks for him.
Welcome back to Twins baseball on My 29. Scoreless through an inning and a half of baseball as the Twins try to take the rubber game of the series. Hi, everybody. I'm Jim Rich. And Boof Bonser, now winless in his last 12 starts, is about to go and to a change of lifestyle. Ron Gardenhire said before today's game the team is going to work with Booth on his fitness and stamina. Strength and conditioning coach Perry Castanano will develop a plan for Booth that will get him to last longer in games, and they will have a definite weight that they want Booth to hit by next spring training. And when asked when this all starts, Gardy says right now. So Booth is going to be working on his game a little bit in between starts as well. Dick and Bert, back up to you.
Sammy Sosa with a swing and a miss. 1-2.
Well, I know that Boof Bonds has been working all season long on corralling his weight and his endurance, but I know talking to Boof, that's something that he was upset at himself about coming into spring training a little bit on the heavy side, and it's hard to lose weight during the season, and I think the Twins are on the right path. If Boof Bonser wants to continue to pitch at the major league level, he needs to get himself in better shape, and that starts maybe not now, and you know, he still has hopefully 5-6 starts left. It's after that last out of that last season of the last ball game, you start working out for spring training that next year. So I always, Dick, and this is the way I was, I wanted to go into spring training in the best shape of my life. And then during the season, of course, it's harder to work out really hard when you're pitching every 4th or 5th day. So Bonser is going to be, you know, on a schedule, and believe me, Perry Castellano will keep him on that schedule. If he stays on it, it'll be the best thing for Boof Bonser.
Back-to-back changeups, one a little high, the other one at the belt for a called strike 3. 3 early strikeouts for Santana. Here's our Nissan Key stat.
Well, look at Santana. Fewest runners per 9 innings in the American League. Outstanding right there. Less than 10 runs. Now, he's a strikeout pitcher. 3 strikeouts here. He doesn't give up a lot of hits. His walk to strikeout ratio is outstanding, about 5-1. He's averaging 2.1 walks per 9 innings. I mean, this guy's a real deal. Come on. Not J.D. Durbin. Johan Santana's the real deal.
1 strike. I want to ask you a little bit more about the Bonser situation and the fitness program the Twins are going to prescribe for him. Bird with 1 strike hit a home run to start the scoring last night. Throughout baseball history, there have been a lot of great pitchers who have been very heavy, and contemporaries like David Wells, and before that Mickey Lolich, and Rick Russell was always kind of a portly guy. No, and Bird strikes out 4 straight strikeouts for Santana. I'm not trying to compare Bonser to those pitchers, but they managed to survive and do very well, even though they were significantly overweight.
Well, everybody's built different, and we'd all like to have the body of Johan Santana, but you just don't have it, you know, so you have to work with what you're given. But the biggest thing for pitchers, of course, is a lower part of your body. And to me, when a pitcher starts to tire in the 4th or 5th inning, it's basically telling me that his legs are not strong enough. The endurance is not there from the lower part of your body. Your arm will only get tired if the lower part of your body gets tired. If your legs get tired, of course, your arm's going to drag. And I think that's what the Twins want out of Boof Bonser. Strengthen the lower part of your body. He's a big kid. I mean, to go think Boof Bonser is going to be, you know, 190 pounds like Johan is, or 200, is not going to happen. Boof is going to pitch at 230, 240, but it needs to be firmed up a little bit. That's all. And how about the roll that Santana's on right now? You know, there's certain days you walk out there and you say, you know, I've got pretty good stuff. It sure looks like Santana's got right now an overpowering fastball, a great feel right now for that changeup.
He struck out 4 in a row and just missed number 5.
Well, the Twins are 14-11 when Johan starts a ball game. Of course, he would like to have run support. And Johan 9-1 when the Twins score 4 or more runs for him.
5 straight strikeouts and 2 perfect innings for Santana. Santana with 5 straight strikeouts, and now he'll hope his team can give him a lead of some sort. Michael Kadire taking outside from Kevin Millwood.
Well, Kadire, good numbers against Millwood. 5 for 10 with 3 doubles against Millwood over their meetings.
And just missing 2-0. Millwood's had some health issues of his own earlier this year. He spent a couple stints on the disabled list with a left hamstring pull. And Kadire takes a strike.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he missed almost the whole part of May. Millwood making his 23rd start of the year.
And around the hands, 3-1.
See that pitch right there, that's easy for a right-hander to throw inside, and Millwood will do that. This guy's made 306 major league starts. He'll work both sides of the plate. But moving over to that pitching rubber, this is the pitch he wants to control.
Kadire blasts it to center field. Way back and ball, a home run. The first home run allowed by Millwood in 11 starts.
Well, for Michael Kadire, his 12th home run of the year. And you just saw Gerald Laird, the catcher, want a fastball away. He moved outer half of the plate, and you leave it over the middle part of the plate. Good hitters will take advantage of it. That's exactly what Kadire did right there. Twins take a 1-0 lead. Look at Laird. Look where the pitch was. Left out over the plate. Kadire extending those strong arms and hitting a solo home run.
And now Mike Redmond. And remembering that Justin Morneau just missed a home run to close out the first inning. A couple of well hit balls taken up the middle against Millwood. And now outside 2-0 to Redmond.
Redmond 4 for 13 lifetime against Millwood.
And 2-1. And now 3-1.
Millwood's last start against the Twins came last year on May 9th in Arlington. The Twins ended up beating Millwood 15-5 in a ball game that he and Carlos Silva hooked up. That was the game that Francisco Liriano got his first major league save by pitching 3 shutout innings in that ball game.
Redmond hits a liner to right, and Cruz staggers trying to find the ball out of the lights, and he found it and caught it 1 away. You can submit a question to us online at carsoup.com/baseball. And today our question from Pat D of Apple Valley. And Pat says years ago it seemed like a lot of pitchers threw a screwball. Whatever happened to it? And who has the best one in the American League?
I remember Mike Marshall when I pitched with him in Texas. He had probably to me the best screwball. Almost looked like a reverse curveball. That he majored in kinesiology. He knew that what his shoulder could do, and that ball is almost like a curveball to a right-handed batter would go in on a right-hander. And I think the circle changeup has kind of taken over the place of the screwball. The screwball is nothing more than a fastball that pitchers like a Jamie Moyer or a Greg Maddux use to kind of turn over to get maybe that ball to slow down a little bit and to maybe get a ground ball, keep the hitter off balance.
White drives it to right center field, and Cruz sees this one. I haven't been paying attention for the last 30 seconds what you've been saying. I'm still stunned. Kinesiology, 6 syllables?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to write that down.
Kinesiology.
Yeah, thank you.
2 down. I remember going back to when you first came to the major leagues.
It's like the Heidelberg machine. Here we go again.
Here's Tommy Watkins. When you first came to the major leagues, and I don't believe I ever saw him pitch, but Mike Cuellar was supposed to have an outstanding screwball.
He did. And it's basically what Santana can do with a changeup at times. It looks like a fastball, and then it'll dip away from that hitter. And that's all a screwball is. It is just something that pitchers use as an off-speed pitch to try to keep the hitters again, off balance at the plate.
Tommy Watkins lifts it foul. 1-1.
I played with a lot of screwballs, but don't know how many actually threw.
A lot of them were sitting down there along the first baseline this afternoon.
Mike Smithson comes to mind, but
1-1.
it's good to see everybody. And you know what? I want to speak on behalf of everybody in the '87 ball club. Thank the Twin organization for the great job that they did. Everybody that was involved.
Tommy Watkins is going to run as hard as he can. He's still out by a couple of steps. The Twins get a leadoff home run from Michael Kadire. Well, there he is, the newest member of the Twins Hall of Fame, Gary Gaetti. Broke in with a bang in 1981, hitting a home run in his first major league at bat, and helped win a World Series for the Twins in 1987. And the Twins have a 1-0 lead, and we're thrilled to death to have the newest member up here. Gary, you got through the speech. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's so weird to hear that. Hall of Famer. That's just odd.
Isn't that
and
great?
I still can't believe it. This is to see that over there. This is the greatest honor and award, anything that I've ever had.
And on your birthday yet,
oh,
too.
Man.
Happy birthday.
Too much irony.
I remember.
I'm loved out.
Bouncer to short, and the string of strikeouts end. On target throw to Morneau, and Cruz is retired.
Well, I got to play with you for 3 years, Rad, and I just want to let you know that of all the guys I played with, you were probably the most intense at third base as far as you wanting to win. And you mentioned that during your speech. That's what it's all about.
I didn't know how to do it any other way. I had to win, and I had to be like that to make sure that I was doing what I needed to do to help the team. I just can't. I never learned how to do it any other way.
Well, then the logical question is, how in the world did you just survive the lean years, the 1982s and 83s, when this team was not only not winning, it seemed like they were a long ways from winning?
Well, no, you don't look at it as a year. It's every day. It's every day.
Right.
You're going to win that day. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to look back. So, well, this year we're going to lose 102 games. No, it's just every day. You just are doing that, you know. So.
And you take the good with the bad in this game, don't you?
It was much more bad than good.
Yep.
As far as your personal performance.
2-2 to Saltalamacchia.
How does that? I know as a pitcher, you know, you pitch every fourth or fifth day, and I sat there and you think about a bad outing or that. Is it good for a player to say you go for 4 and you strike out 3 times and you end up losing a ball game? I know that eats on a guy like you, and you're kind of biting at the bit to get out there the next day, aren't you?
Yep, you are. I think it's important to get guys out there after a bad game too. I know from the coaching end of it now, the manager will ask me sometimes about a guy that might be struggling, you know, but I'll see something, I say, I think he needs to go back out there, you know.
Another strikeout for Santana, number 6.
Now, if he has 2 bad games in a row, then it's time to go to the bench.
Well, you didn't have too many bad games in a row in 1987. Remarkable. And Tom Kelly talked about this last night, how important he thought these at-bats you had against Doyle Alexander to start the playoff series, how important it was to the whole team.
Obviously it was. I mean, it's like it took a big weight off of our shoulders, and then everybody relaxed, and then from down there, it was all downhill from there. I mean, we just bum rushed them.
Well, it was interesting because Tom talked last night, not just what it did for your team, but he thought it really rattled the veteran Doyle Alexander, and he was knocked off his game by that early home run.
Whatever it takes. And that's probably how it happened, you know, because I know he had great success against us the whole season. We didn't touch him. But we had something for him there. I'm just glad I was a part of it.
I think
I wasn't the only one. There was a lot of guys that got hot. I mean, Kirby had a good series too. So.
2 strikes to Ramon Vasquez. And now 1-2.
Well, tell the viewers what you're doing now, Rat.
I am the hitting coach in Durham with the Durham Bulls, which is a AAA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I have a golf addiction. I have a problem with that. And
we played golf down in Houston.
Yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, but that's what I'm doing. AAA hitting coach. Liking that pretty much. Got a good team. The Durham Bulls are very similar. It's really odd this year. My AAA team is very similar to the '87 team. We come together as a team. We're not the best team, but we're playing like the best team, and it's somebody different every night doing the job. So we're a game out in the division. We're half a game up, I think, in the wild card. So, like I said, the love fest continues. Hopefully, we're going to be in the playoffs, and you know, it's fun. I like being in baseball, and Major Leagues is a place to be, but AAA is pretty good.
He'll be back there soon, I'm sure. 1-2 to Vasquez. And Santana backs away. He's had a nearly perfect first 3 innings here. If he can get Vasquez, it will be perfect. Came inside and missed. 2-2.
Let me ask you, Rat, as a hitting coach, with the success you had at the major league level, how do you filter that into the young kids at the AAA level that are a step away from playing here?
Well, actually, all you do, you share experiences with them, you know. And of course, you know, the older you get, the better you work.
Wow. 7 strikeouts through 3 perfect innings for Johan Santana. The Phillips game reset in hockey. You do better than that as a starting pitcher.
I don't know how Kingsler and Cruz got anything to bat on the ball. 7 strikeouts for Johan, 9 up, 9 down. And Kadire giving him early run support, just a solo home run. Hopefully the Twins can get him some more.
Nick Punto will lead off the third. Dick Bramer, Burt Blyleven, joined by Gary Gaetti, the Rat. Here's something I don't know, and I've known you for as long as I've been doing this. Punto with a bouncer to second. How'd you get the nickname the Rat?
Duh. Well, actually, this is the story. We were taking batting practice, and somebody had taken a picture of me. I used to have that big mustache, and I had just shaved it off, and somebody took a picture of me, and I'm like looking out somewhere, and I guess with my nose being big like it is, and just staring off into space, they just titled the picture "The Rat." So they thought obviously I looked like a rat, and there's the camera. It's over here somewhere. And Herbie saw it, and that was the end of that. Hey, the Rat! So once Herbie said I was the Rat, it was official then. Then when the little kids started calling me, "Hey, Rat," I knew it was all over. It's okay, though. It's been pretty fun.
Here's Casilla with 1 out in the third. When you look back at that '87 season, and we've asked this question a lot of the guests who've come up here, when were you convinced that this team could actually get to the playoffs? At what point of the season did you believe, you know what, we're going to do this?
I honestly don't really remember. I do know coming down to that last week. Nice play.
Nice catch by the shortstop Young for out number 2.
I don't really. I know our last homestand here. We knew it's like we came out on the field one time and it's like, oh, the stadium was packed. You know, it's just like it was just a different feeling of they knew something was going on, but we didn't necessarily know it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we were just playing it out. There's not one particular moment that I remember. I just know that game we clinched here was pretty awesome.
Now, did you run that tape with Lombardozzi where he did that interview with you? That
I'll tell that story. Yeah, I'll tell that story.
But that ran on the.
That was on the pregame show.
That was on the pregame, right?
Lombo told the story, and I'll just simplify it. He said that you were alone with him once, about 2/3 of the way through the season.
All right.
In the shower.
Yeah.
Getting
instructions.
And stared at him and said, "Lombo, we're going to do it. And we're going to win it." I presume is what you meant by that, but.
All right. I remember telling Dennis Eckersley he wasn't going to strike me out again one time, and he struck me out 4 more times.
2-0.
Well, that's a good story. Maybe I did. Oh.
As over the 20 years, right? You know, of course, the stories get bigger.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. The older we get, the better we work.
That's right.
I know the more I coach, the dumber I get.
Bauer takes a strike, and it's 2-1. There was obviously a love fest, though, at the end of the regular season and through the playoffs. And you referred to it in your induction speech, a bond that you've never experienced between a community or a region, as you put it, and a baseball team.
No, never. And we get to experience it. It's like every time we get together, whether it be, you know, a reunion,
right,
a funeral, you know what I'm saying, a special event, a Hall of Fame. I mean, it's just awesome.
Well, enjoy your day, man.
Yep.
Enjoy your
congratulations
day.
again on the induction. Gary Gaetti, the newest member of the Twins Hall of Fame.
All right.
So you are hereby circled.
Well, and obviously that gentleman can and at times does shave. That's got to make you feel a little older. Somebody who was born on the day you guys won the World Series, and he's an adult.
He's 20 years old.
Almost.
Almost 19. Okay.
Strike one from Santana to Kinsler, and strike two. And so the question shifts now. What can Santana do to the Rangers the second time through the order? First time through, 3 1-2-3 innings and 7 strikeouts. 8 strikeouts. 2 people have put the ball in play and a couple of weak ground balls to short.
Boy, is he tuned in. Great changeup right there. Kinsler way out front. And Santana with 47 pitches. Here with 1 out in the 4th.
A season high 13 strikeouts against the Rangers back in May in Arlington. And strike one to Brad Wilkerson, who struck out. You know what, to simplify it, I'll just mention if somebody didn't strike out against Santana the first time up. Little pop-up. Santana giving way to Watkins. 2 away. Mountain Dew Mega Mondays give you a great chance to get a great price on Twins tickets. Bring a Mountain Dew or Pepsi can to the Metrodome Redemption Center and get $10 off a lower reserve ticket. The Twins against the Mariners tomorrow night. And for more details, call 800-33-TWINS or log on to twinsbaseball.com. 11 up and 11 down for Johan Santana. Here's Young. Strike one.
Well, you almost saw that by that swing right there. Young said, okay, I'm going to look fastball first pitch because that's a changeup down and away on the black.
Strike two. And I would imagine in the Texas dugout, Young and the other hitters have witnessed what's been going on, and somewhere in the recesses of their mind must be the thought, uh-oh, we're in for it today.
I think anytime Santana takes a mound, a club would say that.
Nine strikeouts through 4 perfect innings for Johan Santana. Toyota trivia question: who led the Twins in 1987 with 109 runs batted in? Can't be that easy, can it?
If you were listening, you know.
First pitch strike to Torrey Hunter. The Twins leading 1-0. And Hunter with a 2-out single back in the first inning. And 2 strikes.
Well, Millwood in his second season with the Rangers, his 11th major league season. He came up with the Braves in 1997. Made the All-Star team in 1999 when he was with the Braves. Laird wanting a fastball up, outer half of the plate. And that's up.
That was up. Hunter, Morneau, and Kadire facing Millwood. High fly, deep center field. Bird going back, and another warning track catch. Hunter, like Morneau earlier, just missed hitting a home run.
He left the breaking ball up, and Torrey almost hit a home run.
Don't miss out on securing your priority for the new ballpark. Owning season tickets today will benefit you greatly down the road. You can put a $250 per seat deposit towards your 2008 season tickets today and establish your new ballpark priority for the new ballpark in 2010. Call 800-33-TWINS or visit twinsbaseball.com to place your deposit. Here's Morneau. Just missed a home run his first time up, and he takes strike one. Right off the end of the bat, 2 strikes. More rain, heavy at times, coming through the Twin Cities and southern suburbs and to an area that suddenly is saturated beyond capacity. So we'll certainly hope for the best. And for you people in that part of the state, we're thinking about you. Up and away, 1-2.
Well, I'd like to say a happy 87th birthday to Jay Bosacker from Tracy, Minnesota. Happy birthday today. Also Sheila Washington down at the loading dock. Happy birthday to you, Sheila.
Tapper up the line, foul.
The same birthday as Gary Gaetti. Pretty nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Justin with the 28 home runs, again second in the American League behind Rodriguez, and 91 RBIs, fourth in the American League. So even though Justin hasn't picked up a couple or a lot of RBIs here in the month of August or a home run, he's still in the top 2 and 4 in those departments.
Inside. Did you say Tracy or Stacy?
Tracy.
Tracy, yeah, that's down in the southwest part of the state, a little bit north of Worthington and Slayton. Just a little bit west of Walnut Grove.
Right next to Crockett, I think. I did. I invented a town.
Yeah.
There's going to be a Crockett, Minnesota pretty soon.
You could run for mayor.
I'm going to run for mayor, and we'll probably hit it on the winter caravan. It'll be on my itinerary.
Crockett, Minnesota. Some people pronounce it Cloquet, but last night it was Crockett. And Millwood stumbles, and it's ball 4. And boy, the Rangers hoping that Millwood is okay. Remember, he had 2 hamstring pulls consecutively back in May. And he ends up issuing one of the weirdest walks Justin Morneau will ever get.
A little embarrassing, too. Watch that right foot right there. I think he just, as the left foot came down, it just, he put it down too quick.
That's one that will be seen 20 years from now.
That trainer Jamie Reed out there to make sure he's okay, along with pitching coach Mark Connor.
And thankfully, it looks like he's fine.
Yeah. A little embarrassed, I'm sure.
Really isn't an exaggeration. I just a couple of weeks ago watching a sports highlight package, embarrassing moments. Rick Dempsey back in 1983. Walking to first. He drew a walk and he stumbled on the turf here and fell flat on his face. That was 24 years ago. Something like that is never forgotten thanks to videotape. There's Cuddyer taking a strike. Cuddyer cranked a home run to center field, is the 12th of the year, leading off the second. And now low, 1-1. Thankfully, none of our embarrassing moments up here, I believe, have ever been recorded.
Oh, really? You been to YouTube? Still on there.
You got a special section, don't you?
Jeez. Type in Burt Blyleven.
And send the kids to bed first.
Yes,
and then
please. It's an accident.
2-1. We're approaching the 1-year anniversary of that, aren't we?
Well, thanks for reminding me.
2-2 to Cuddyer. Tigers are in New York this Sunday afternoon, and the game is now tied 3-3 in the 5th. And Cleveland leading Tampa Bay 2-1 in the 5th. 2-2 to Cuddyer. And a curve left up high. Full count, 1 away, and we'll see if the Twins are inclined to send Morneau from first base.
Well, Millwood making his 307th major league start. He has 131 wins, 96 losses in his career. Career ERA under 4, 3.97.
Morneau goes. The pitch tap foul.
Millwood right there trying a 3-2 curveball, so he has a lot of confidence in that pitch. He'll throw that little cutter along with that fastball. He's won 18 seasons a couple times at the major league level, once with the Atlanta Braves, once with the Phillies. 16 game winner last year.
Morneau goes again, and it's ball 4, so a pair of walks after the warning track fly ball, and the Twins are threatening here in the 4th. Our Toyota trivia question, the answer has to be Gary Gaetti, doesn't it?
The rat, it's his day.
It's his birthday. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he's the answer to the trivia question. I mean, how much better could it get for Gary? First and second, one out, and Mike Redmond, the hitter, hit the ball pretty hard against Millwood, lining out to Nelson Cruz in right.
Yeah, he knocked Cruz backwards, so that's hitting the ball hard when you can make that outfielder fall backwards. Well, maybe it got caught in the lights.
That's down the right field line, but it's twisting foul. 1 strike to Redmond. Millwood realizing the way Santana's been pitching, he can ill afford to give up many more runs here today. One strike, and Redmond takes up and in. Millwood kind of symbolizes what we were talking about the other night. How the Rangers, in part because of the ballpark, have had a terrible time getting pitchers to sign. Millwood probably pitched as well last year. In fact, he pitched more than he did the year before. Here's a chopper up the middle. Out there. And a double play. So Redmond wraps into a double play. The Twins come up empty in the 4th. A day for Gary Gaetti, a weekend for the '87 Twins.
You are hereby circled.
You handsome devil, you. And Johan Santana trying to steal a little thunder here this afternoon. He's got a 1-0 lead. He's thrown 4 perfect innings, and he has struck out 9. There hasn't been a ball hit out of the infield. 2 ground balls to short and a pop-up to short third, with Watkins coming in to make the catch about 60 feet from home plate. Here's Sosa, caught looking his first time up on a 3-2 pitch from Santana. One strike.
Boy, he's just been overpowering so far here this afternoon. Not only that good fastball he threw right past Sosa right there, also the changeup is devastating. I don't know if he's thrown a slider yet. Everything's been hard fastball, great changeup.
And the first hit of the game. Sosa pokes a single to left. So the leadoff man is on in the 5th.
Well, the afternoon has all been Johan Santana. The first 4 innings, 9 strikeouts. And Johan second in the American League behind Eric Bedard in strikeouts. He's led the American League the last 3 years in strikeouts. Trying to catch Bedard in 1 game.
So a leadoff single for Sosa in the 5th, and here's Bird. Swing and a miss. An incredible strikeout to walk ratio. Two strikes.
Greg Bedard of the Baltimore Orioles came into today's play with 207 strikeouts on the season. Johan now at 183. Bedard putting together a very good year for the Orioles. He's just ahead of Johan in the ERA department through 2.98 earned run average. Johan at 3.02.
One and two. Nice block by Redmond, keeping Sosa at first base. Strikeout number 10. His career high 14, and he's well on his way here today. TwinsBaseball.com is your one stop on the internet for all things Twins. You can log on today and check out the latest eSaver discount. Get great deals on tickets for games during the second half of the season. You can also check out the new ballpark webcam and learn all about the construction of the new Twins ballpark at TwinsBaseball.com.
Well, Johan with 10 strikeouts, the 37th time in his career, and he's making his 168th major league start that he has had 10 strikeouts or more in a ball game.
1-0 to Gerald Laird. Laird was strikeout victim number 5 back in the second inning. One and one. Now it's hard to be really efficient if you're striking out a lot of batters in terms of your pitch count, but Santana's accomplished that too. That was just his 60th pitch of the ball game. 45 strikes, 15 balls.
Yeah, he can't strike out everybody. What he needs to do is get a couple outs like he did in that little pop-up to Wilkerson on 2 pitches. That's what he needs once in a while.
How about a 2-hopper to short here?
That would help.
Just off the plate.
And you can see why Santana likes working off that third base side of the pitching rubber. We talked about Kevin Millwood moving over to the first base side on that pitch right there. All he has to do is just make a good follow through into that inner half of that plate. A lot easier to hit the inner half of the plate against right-handers, where Johan has that toe just on that pitching rubber.
Swing and a foul, and that reels Redmond. 2-2. Just where you want to be on this afternoon, with a bat in your hands and 2 strikes against Santana. Number 11.
You know, in last night's ball game, the Twins got shut out. These fans here really never got a chance to applaud after the '87 reunion on the field. And Johan, that's what strikeout pitchers can do. We saw it from Nolan Ryan, Steve Carlton, guys that strike out people. The fans, I think, get into it a little bit more. You hear a lot more applause here so far this afternoon than we did last night.
Here's Cruz. He at least put the ball in play against Santana. Hit a ground ball to Punto to lead off the third. We've gone down this road with Santana before, where he just simply looks like he's unhittable. Hitters swinging and missing by a foot or more. Either over the top of the changeup or a foot in front of the changeup.
Well, that pitch right there, such an important pitch for Santana to move those hitters a little bit off the plate. Johan does a good job of that. And that sets up that changeup that he wants down and away. See where Cruz is in the batter's box.
That one missing down and in, and it's 2-1. Fastball missing inside, 3-1.
Fastball away, says Redmond.
And there it was on the outside corner. And Cruz got a piece of it. 3-2. Sosa will take off. Morneau looking in to see whether the Twins want him holding or coming off. Morneau trying to get Santana's attention, and Santana so locked in on the hitter. It took him a while to glance at Morneau.
Now will he throw the fastball? Will he throw the changeup? Or will he throw the slider? The thing about Santana, he has confidence in all three pitches, and he can throw them over at any time.
Driven to center. Hunter going back. Got it on the track. Big picture in right field for a big reason the Twins are celebrating this weekend.
And a big guy here in the booth with us.
That's the reason the picture's so big.
Ken Herbeck with us as the Twins have a 1-0 lead. Rondell White leading off the fifth against Kevin Millwood. First pitch lifted to center. And Marlon Byrd is out there to make the catch. Ken, congratulations. I'm wondering, were you more nervous about your induction speech a few years ago or introducing Gary today?
A lot more nervous than introducing Gary. I mean, it's simple when somebody's talking about you. I guess you just go up and say thank you, but we have to try to tell. First of all, it's hard to tell stories about me and Gary because we had a lot of fun times that we can't talk about. But Gary, a great teammate. Like I said, I think he was so fun to play with. He was an animal. He literally hated the opponent.
Yeah. One out, and here's Watkins.
When he was up here, I mentioned to him, I said of all the guys I played with, he was one more of the intense players. As far as once that game started, his goal was to beat that guy no matter what.
Right. I mean, he not only used to holler at the other team's pitcher. I would remember if he was at third base, you know, and one of our pitchers would throw a breaking ball that would hang or a high fastball, and he'd get knocked out in the outfield. I remember Gary used to be smoking on over there, just stomping and steam coming out of his ears. Why did you throw that pitch? You know, it was like he got mad at our pitchers too when they threw a bad pitch, or would get mad at you if you're swinging.
He was always mad at me.
But no, I mean, he was just a kind of an intense player, and that's what I liked about him. I mean, he wasn't out there to make friends. He was out there to win the ball game.
Tommy Watkins with a 1-1 count. So Gary Gaetti's joined Ken Herbeck in the Twins Hall of Fame, and Bert Blyleven in the Twins Hall of Fame. But now let's talk about the weekend. And boy, if you know, for a lot of things, 20 years later, and the glow or whatever wears off, but it doesn't seem to be the case with this bunch of guys.
It seemed like the fire was a little brighter even. I don't know, for some reason it seemed like there was more action or something going on here. It's just that the Twins did, first of all, the Twins did a fantastic job. I think the organization did a great job of getting the guys here and their families here and setting things up for us to do and making it accessible for us to get out and even, you know, interact with the fans a little bit by signing autographs and taking pictures and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, it was as everybody says, it's been a great weekend.
Yeah.
And it doesn't seem 20 years ago. I know you were in the 91 too, and for another 4 years you're going to be doing the same thing. But
there's the boys out
everybody
there
looks
still
good.
talking.
They look good.
3-2 to Watkins. And lifted foul and out of play.
It's fun to see the kids, you know, the guys' kids. Remember the little Joe Gaetti or little Jake Gaetti or
little throwing the trash cans and stuff.
Little Lombo running around on the field. And now these guys are Joe Gaetti playing for the Colorado Rockies, a AAA team. So there's Mark Davidson and his kid. It's fun to see those kids grow up and see what they turn into. Like I said, my daughter's here with my jersey on. It almost fits her. I think I could still slide into it, though.
Watkins draws a walk. Hey, I noticed yesterday as you guys were introduced and you came onto the field, you shared a truck with Gary Gaetti, and when you came on the field, you had your old No smoking, but you can drink all you want salute to the
Exactly.
fans. Yeah.
Yep, that's you know, that was kind of mine and Gary's thing before the game. It was no smoking, and you definitely could drink, but don't be smoking. And
don't leave early.
That's right.
That was another
don't
one.
walk up your arm. Yeah, Gary'd always say, there they go. Well, it happened a lot in the first few years we played. There wasn't that many people here to leave, first of all.
Punto jabs at it and fouls it. 1 strike.
Like you said, Dick, my wife was trying to remember what the heck we did.
There she is. There's Heidi.
Heidi wave.
That's my uniform, believe it or not. In 1985, I had that on.
Wow.
We might have to get a lot of Crisco out now to put that on me.
Well, it's in the dryer a lot, right?
That's
it
true.
shrinks,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she wears it every other day, so we shrunk it up so it could fit her.
1 strike to Punto. And now a ball, 1-1.
I was talking about. We were trying to figure out what we did 10 years ago. Remember what we did 10 years ago for the 10-year reunion?
No.
It's funny because we couldn't. We were trying to.
I remember there was a reception at the Planet Hollywood at the Mall of America. And I won't tell you why I remember that. My partner had something to do with that. But
okay. And then
team picture.
Team picture, yeah.
And then in '91 we had a 10-year reunion. In 2001 we went on the boat cruise like we did the other day. I remember that.
Right.
But too many brain cells, I guess. Too many reunions, too many parties. But I mean, this weekend I think guys are gonna remember what we did, because we had a lot of fun up there in that booth and telling stories and talking to the kids up there and stuff, and seeing old fans and listening to fan stories. It's fun to hear their stories.
I think the fans like to hear too. A pitch just missing right there, but the fans like to hear too. I think what it took for a club like '87 to become a unit, and that's really what we became. 24 guys, eventually winning a World Series, but it didn't start that way in spring training. It took a long time to get to the playoffs, and then everything went our way.
These people seem like they're your relatives or something, because they actually come right up to you and they put their arm around you like they really know you real well. And there's a lot of people that I've bumped to in a lot of different places that actually come up and start talking to you like they're your cousin or your brother or something. They just start talking to you, and it's so neat because they were so together with us in that run that we made, and it seemed like they just feel like we're part of them, and they can come up and talk to us, and like we know them. Remember when they signed an autograph for me 25 years ago? I was like, signed a few autographs in 25 years, but yeah, I really don't remember that, but it's fun to see them get excited about it too.
Outside to Punto. And throughout this weekend, of course, the Twins highlight tape has been running, and so many highlights, and the highlight, I guess, of your postseason in 1987 was the grand slam in Game 6. And I mean, other than celebrating after Game 7, but I mean, that at bat must pop into your mind 3 or 4 times a day, I would imagine.
I see it enough, and I've got pictures around the house and stuff.
Watkins goes to second on another walk to Punto.
Yeah, that's the thing I remember the most right there was I had to get out of there because I thought I was going to get killed, and I had to back out of there. I don't know how Reardon and Lauder made it through that mess, but
yeah, Lodz was on the bottom.
yes, he was. Him and Jeffy both were on the bottom getting piled on.
And then Gary, I think, tried to be like a human bridge to protect him a little bit, and that lasted until you jumped on the pile.
No, I got out of there. He was hanging onto my legs and about broke my back because everybody started landing on me, and I got lucky.
Out at first, there'll be no other play. A nice play by Saltalamacchia to get the out, but the runners move up, second and third, 2 away. And that'll bring up Maurer.
But no, I mean, the grand slam, first of all, gave us a little bit bigger lead. I didn't have a very good day that day. I got picked off at second base. What was I, 1 for 17 or 1 for 16 at the time against left-handed pitching? I wasn't having that great of a series. So a lot of emotions came out around the bases and put us ahead. And I think our team was good enough to know that, hey, we still had another game to play. Let's not get too crazy here.
Well, I think a lot of times, we only show the home runs. We forget the Gagne and the Lombardos who had great series, and
those are the guys that got us here.
Yeah.
Exactly. Timmy Laudner.
Here's Maurer looking for his first hit of the series, and he takes ball 1.
Yeah, we see the signs for Timmy Laudner, the Buck 98 club. He hit a Buck 98 that year for us. But But he hit 3-something in the playoffs or something like that. Had some great big hits for us. And Rondo again had a great series. You know, you hear about the Puckett's and the Herbecks and the Gaettis and this and that, but again, Bert, you said you touched on 24 guys is what the deal was.
Bouncer to second. Millwood's going to pitch out of this jam. Twins leave a couple more aboard. It's still 1-0. And our thanks to Ken Herbeck for the memories and for the visit here today.
All right. Thanks, Dick.
Yep.
And thanks for helping us out.
Thanks, Ken.
Welcome back to Twins baseball on My 29. 1-0 the Twins in front of the Rangers, and it's time now to add a new winner to the winner's circle, and we're joined with Julie McVeigh, who is here from Richfield, and you actually have the same birthday as Gary Gaetti.
Yep, I'm a few years older though.
Oh, I couldn't tell that. I couldn't tell that at all. All right, it says he came here to party with 87 and 07. Where were you in 87?
I slept in Southdale's parking lot 2 times to get playoff and World Series tickets. I had tickets for the first 2 games and watched the others at home.
Well, congratulations today. You're a winner once again, and happy birthday, you and Gary Gaetti.
Thank you.
Now let's go back up to Dick and Bert.
First pitch a strike to Jared Saltalamacchia, and the second pitch also a strike.
Well, thank you very much, Jim, and happy birthday to you. I mean, Santana is smoking here this afternoon. 11 strikeouts. Has given up only 1 hit. Sammy Sosa got a high changeup last inning. Got a base hit to left.
Low 1-2. Again, a season high 13 strikeouts against the Rangers earlier, career high of 14. And Saltalamacchia got a piece of it. As the Phillips game reset, the Kadire home run, the lone run of the game.
Yeah, so far it's standing up. Santana only 1 hit allowed with the 11 strikeouts. And Sosa with the base hit.
Hunter to the gap, and he leaves it for Kadire, 1 away. Well, here's what Santana did to the Rangers in May.
Well, 7 innings in that ball game for Johan. The Twins beat the Rangers 7-1. Gave up only 4 hits. And the only run off of the bat of Sammy Sosa. He hit a solo home run. 13 strikeouts in that win.
Here's Vasquez. Line to Morno, 2 down.
That's what you need right there. In today's game to go 8-9 innings, you need 1 pitch outs. Vasquez hitting that ball sharply, but right at Justin at first.
Second baseman, Kinsler.
2 down, and here's Kinsler. Couple of fairly quick outs here in the 6th. Kinsler with a ground ball to short and a strikeout. And strike 1. To right field, and Kadire is there. Not a strikeout in the inning, but Santana pitches a 1-2-3-6 with just a handful of pitches. No,
not everybody likes sideburns.
No, I'm just unhappy that Joe Mauer doesn't have a hit yet in the series, and so you can understand why the youngster's upset. Torrey Hunter will lead off the Twins' 6th inning. Millwood has twice issued back-to-back walks and lived to tell about it, and he delivers strike 1 to Torrey Hunter.
Well, Millwood with 75 pitches in the ball game, 42 strikes, doing a better job in the second time, getting strike 1 on the Twins.
Just 2 hits allowed, one of them by Hunter with 2 out in the first. A sharp ground ball single to left. 2 strikes to the leadoff man here in the 6th. As after a high fastball, and Millwood gets a strikeout, and that's his first.
That's his first strikeout. The 4 walks, 1 strikeout. Torrey swinging through a high fastball.
The great Minnesota doubleheader. If you purchase an Upper Club ticket to an upcoming game against the Mariners, Royals, or Indians, you get a free general admission ticket to the Minnesota State Fair. You can call 800-33-TWINS to order your tickets today. We've talked about this before. You've been out to the State Fair a number of times. Been asked to, I know, for work. If you had a free day, you just go to the State Fair. Did you used to do that when you lived in Minnesota?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I did not.
Oh. Well, here I thought the answer would be yes, and I had a whole series of questions, so I'll just throw those questions away.
I'm sorry.
I'm just wondering, what's the difference between a general admission ticket and a, super deluxe ticket or whatever? You walk in the gate, you scatter, you get the food you want, you go to the events you want, you see all the booths you want, you go on the rides or whatever.
Maybe get on the rides for free?
Maybe that's it. I don't know. 2-0 to Morneau. And now 3-0, and Millwood, who walked Morneau last time, hopes not to do it again, and if he does, hopes he doesn't trip off the mound as he did back in the 4th inning.
I remember I grew up in Southern California. We went to Disneyland not too often, but back then they had the A, B, C, D, E tickets. E was the best ticket ride that you had. You tried to keep as many E's until toward the end of the day to go on the monorail or whatever it was. But now it's just general admission. You pay one price and you get all the rides.
So that was the original E ticket.
That was the E ticket. That was the best one to have.
Okay.
A ticket was like, the saucers and cups and ones I usually threw up on.
Morneau draws another walk, so he's aboard for Kadire.
Well, 5 walks in a ball game for Millwood, and Michael Kadire got a pitch that Millwood wanted out over the plate. He left up, and Kadire, a solo home run, his 12th of the year. Twins still holding on to that 1-0 lead.
Kadire walked then in the 4th, and then Redmond hit into the double play, and Millwood got out of the inning. We're talking about Millwood and how his last couple of years maybe represents why the Rangers have such a difficult time signing free agent pitchers. 2 years ago, Millwood led the American League in ERA at 2.86. So the Rangers offered him a lot of money, and he took the money, and he probably pitched at least as well the next year in his first year with the Rangers, but the numbers were inflated. There's a bouncer up the middle, and Young will turn that into a double play. So the Twins can't do anything again with another Millwood walk, and we head to the 7th. It's 1-0.
Well, good 6th inning for Johan. He needed only 8 pitches to get through the 6th inning.
Getting ahead of just about every hitter. Hasn't walked anybody.
Yeah, 16 of 20. He has been able to get strike 1 on that leadoff or that hitter.
Just 2 3-ball counts, and they both came in the 1st inning. And he ended up, or excuse me, Wilkerson in the 1st inning, and then Sosa in the 2nd, and Santana struck each of those hitters out. 1-1 to Wilkerson here in the 7th. 2-1.
Well, it's sad to say the way that the offense has produced here, especially here at home as of late. As a pitcher, you tell yourself you have to do exactly what Santana's been able to do, and that's put zeros on the board. Always looked at it, if I pitched a shutout, at least the worst I could do was tie.
The Dodgers, as great as they were in the 60s, at times were offensively challenged, and they tell the story about a reporter going up, first the 2-2 pitch, and now just outside, reporter going up to Don Drysdale and saying, Drysdale apparently was not with the team on the disabled list. Hey, did you hear Sandy Koufax threw a no-hitter? And Drysdale's response, did we win?
Did you win? Yeah.
3-2 And a little pop-up that'll reach the seats.
I remember growing up in Southern California and watching the Dodgers. It was Jim Gilliam and Maury Wills would get on, steal second. Gilliam would get them over, and maybe Wes Parker drive them in, and that was it. That's it, boys. There's your run. Hold them. You know, Frank Viola, we had him on last night, and Frankie was talking about in situations like this when you don't get a lot of offensive help, that every pitch is a grind, that you just can't relax. And that's what Santana's going through right now. He knows he cannot make a mistake.
At least he's had the benefit of throwing almost all of his pitches here today with a lead. Granted, a slim one.
And in the windup, too. And that's important. I think most starters would rather pitch where Santana is right now out of that windup than the stretch position. Strikeout number 12.
The longest at bat of the game ends with a familiar result.
Well,
number 12.
Good fastball, outer half of the plate with some heat on it. And Wilkerson swings through it. 12 now for Johan as the K's continue to pile up.
And as the pitch count mounts, remember this, Santana is pitching with an extra day of rest. So whatever pitch count there might be, there's no no-hitter here. There's still a shutout to be pitched. But however long the leash might have been, it might be a little bit longer today because he has an extra day. Boy, you flashed me a dirty look there.
That wasn't a dirty look. It was just today's look.
2 strikes quickly to Young.
Well, this guy's fun to watch pitch. I mean, if you're going to come to a ball game and you know, pay admission, good money to watch baseball, you want to come when this guy's pitching. I tell you what, the Twins, all the pitchers have pitched outstanding so far this year. Very, very solid. Strikeout number 13.
He's faced the Rangers twice. He's struck 13 of them out twice, and he's still in the game here this afternoon.
Well, a circle changeup, great location, down and away, and a 300 hitter like Michael Young swings through it and strikes out for the second time in the ball game. Excuse me, the third time in the ball game.
The only thing separating Santana from a perfect game to this point is Sosa's leadoff single in the 5th. Up high, ball 1. One and one.
Well, he took a call third strike in his first at bat, a changeup right down the middle, and then got a changeup and extended that bat out there and got that only hit. And I mentioned it earlier, the only run off of Santana in his last start in May against the Rangers in Arlington, a home run by this guy right here, Sammy Sosa.
He struck out the side in the 2nd and has a chance to do it again here in the 7th.
And the fans here getting on their feet. They want to see it.
A high fly deep down the left field line and a foul ball. So Sosa nearly ruined the shutout bid with another home run against Santana.
Just a long strike, that's all.
One and 2. Santana to Sosa. Line to left. And a fair ball by a foot or two. Sosa has both hits against Santana, and it's a 2-out double.
Well, Sosa with his 22nd double of the year fought off that pitch. And that ball just staying in fair territory down that left field line. So Sosa just dropping the head of the bat, lining it down that left field line, has been a nuisance for Johan here this afternoon. The only nuisance he's had.
And now Bird who has struck out twice against Santana. Very high and very deep and very foul. 1 strike.
High changeup right there by Johan.
And Redmond's going to go to the mound to have a brief chat. Keeping in mind too that Santana in the middle months of this season has had a problem with a blister or a split fingernail on his pitching hand.
Yeah, he's got like a blood blister on that left middle finger that as you put the pressure of that baseball during the ball game, it will kind of puff up a little bit and you'll get blood underneath that blister again. You kind of have to pop it between innings, which he told me he does. But it's the fingernail too that has a little crack in it, and that's what the Twins are more worried about than the actual blister itself.
Well, here he is again with 2 strikes on a hitter, hoping to strike out the side. And the fans are into it all over again. Oh, Bird just got a piece of it. Flailing after that changeup.
Good pitch, good location. Credit Bird for just kind of reaching out and staying alive. That pitch is probably 7-8 inches on the outer half of the plate. Now does he go back inside? Bird right on top of home plate. Or does he go with that changeup away? Watch Redmond move at the last second. He'll tell you.
Nice
Changeup.
blocked by Redmond, and it's 1-2. Be some bullpen activity that's going to get started here in the 7th inning.
Well, 98 pitches for Johan. Pat Neshek's going to get up.
1-2 to Marlon Bird. Number 14. This guy clearly has had no-hitter stuff today, and I don't even know that they were mistakes. Maybe the changeup to Sosa for the first base hit might be determined to be a mistake, but how difficult it is to get 27 outs without giving up a hit.
He has been red hot here this afternoon. Johan Santana with 98 pitches in 7 innings, so I'm sure if the Twins are going to let him, as you see, you don't see the pitching coach, you don't see the manager there, which is a good sign, as Johan will go out for his 8th inning of work, and hopefully the Twins here can add a run to this 1-0 lead. Let's go Twins.
Mike Redmond will lead off the 7th for the Twins.
Kevin Millwood's been doing a good job, just kind of, you see that guy rocking and a-rolling. He's done a good job. He's only allowed 2 hits, as Santana has. Only the home run by Kadire and the base hit by Torrey Hunter. Now, he has walked 5, but he's worked to found a way to work out of it. A couple double plays have helped him.
Twins wrapped into 3 double plays in the ball game last night. Couldn't get anything going at all against Cameron Lowe in the Texas bullpen. And now strike 1 to Mike Redmond, who hit into 1 of those double plays in the 4th. And a ground ball hit right at the second baseman, Kinsler. And Redmond's retired 1 away. Dick's Sporting Goods is the sponsor of the Twins Friday night golf contest, and Jason Bartlett will be making an appearance in Richfield tonight. You can come meet the Twins shortstop at Dick's in Richfield between 6 and 7 o'clock. Just don't ask him about his hamstring, because I'm sure people have been asking him about his hamstring all weekend long. Log on to twinsbaseball.com for all the important details. Rondell White will hit 0 for 2, and he takes a strike. Twins are hopeful that Bartlett will be able to come back in a couple of days. That's why they have not put him on the disabled list yet. White goes after a high pitch, and it's 0-2.
Now, you know, tonight they're going to ask him how
because
he
I
feels.
told him not to.
Well, no, yeah, not only that, but you know, Bartlett right here. This is the reason that he hasn't played since pulling up right there, and that left hamstring a little tight.
2 strikes to Rondell White. Goes after a pitch up in his eyes, 2 away.
Almost the same pitch that struck out Torrey Hunter, that high fastball. And Millwood picks up just his 2nd strikeout.
And that'll bring up Tommy Watkins.
Tough pitch to lay off of that high fastball. You can see the whole ball and a lot of hitters. That's a tough pitch to lay off of, and Rondell White swings underneath that high fastball.
Here's Watkins, a bouncer to third and a walk. Sharp single to center. Just the 3rd hit for the Twins, and Watkins is aboard with 2 gone in the 7th.
Almost that same fastball that Hunter and White struck out on, a high fastball. Tommy Watkins almost chopping down at this, but hitting it sharply into center field for his first hit. See Laird wanting that pitch down, and the pitch staying about letter high, and Watkins gets a base hit.
Punto walked his last time up, got as far as second base. Outside, ball 1. No activity in the Texas bullpen. Millwood, despite the walk, still has an economical pitch count. Two and 0. The point I was trying to make about Millwood before is he last year probably pitched as well as he did the year before. He pitched more innings. The home runs weren't up. The hits weren't, well, the hits were up. The walks weren't up, but the ballpark itself in Texas is such a hitter's ballpark that traditionally free agent pitchers have been reluctant to sign there, knowing that ERAs are going to go up. That's a base hit to right for Punto. Watkins around second. He'll try to run on Cruz. The throw cut off, and Punto dives back safely. A pair of 2-out hits, and the Twins have a threat here in the 7th.
Well, Millwood falling behind, coming in with a fastball. Nick pulling this ball into right field. Cruz, outstanding arm, does the right thing, hits that cutoff man. That means Michael Young, and Nick Punto, watch out. He has to get back to the bag at first.
And now Casilla 0 for 3. A grounder to short, a liner to short, and a ground ball to first.
Well, you look at the year a couple years ago that Millwood did lead the American League with that ERA at 2.86. Well, he was 9-11 that year with the Indians.
Right.
Last year, 16-12 with an ERA of 4.5. But he has a career ERA just under 4.
A strike, but his ERA went up, you know, more than a run and a half. And
but I think sometimes, you know, you pitch at a place like that's known for offense, say Fenway Park, for example. As an opposing pitcher, you go in there and you say, you know what, it's tough to pitch a shutout here, so I hope my team can score me 4 or 5 runs. And that's what Millwood hopes, you know, when he went to Texas.
Punto steals second base. 2 strikes to the hitter Casilla.
Well, Nick Punto stealing his 15th base of the year. Gets in a scoring position with 2 outs. And you never know, maybe Laird would throw that ball into center field. The Twins trying to do something maybe to add a run. But a good solid throw on a good jump by Nick Punto.
And we'll see what the rookie can do with 2 strikes on him. Twins had runners at second and third in the 5th, couldn't get a hit. They do not have a run producing hit with men in scoring position in this series. Inside. Look at this, 0 for 18 with runners in scoring position.
What did Grat say? It is what it is. Let's start from here.
1-2 to Casilla. And now 2-2.
Last 2 pitches, Millwood trying that fastball middle in. And both of them missing inside. Mauer on deck.
Millwood with a long look in, and he'll step off and make the rookie wait. And Santana waiting, wondering what kind of lead he's going to have in the 8th. It'll be a 1-0 lead as the Twins again start a rally with 2 out but can't finish it off. 1 apiece heading to the 8th, or 1-0 heading to the 8th inning.
Well, Johan Santana with 14 strikeouts. 3rd time in his career he has had a 14 strikeout game. His last one coming against the Indians last year. Jason Tyner now in left field, replacing Rondell White.
Ball 1 to Gerald Laird. And a strike on the inside corner.
Great changeup again.
1-2. That's wide of third. Still 1-2.
Oh, Rob Drake almost put that hand up. The pitch almost where strike 2 was. Fastball, inner half. Not missing by much.
Wow. 2-2 to Laird. Strikeout number 15, and Santana ties a club record. Camilo Pascual in 1961, Joe Decker in 73, Jerry Kuzman in 1980, Bert Blyleven in 1986, and Johan Santana in 2007. The only guy he hasn't struck out is the next hitter, Nelson Cruz. Strike 1. One and one. Cruz with a bouncer to short in the 3rd and a warning track fly ball for the 3rd out of the 5th. He's the only Ranger not to have fanned today. 1-2.
I think that's going to change.
We've seen him so often stand for the strikeout for the third out of an inning. Number 16.
Right, now I know how Hank Aaron felt when Barry Bonds passed him. Records are made to be broken in a Twins history. You just saw the 16th strikeout for Johan Santana. They're running out of room.
Saltalamacchia struck out in the third, fly ball to right in the sixth. And Redmond trying to calm down Santana. How can you not be rushing with adrenaline after you've set a club record?
And believe me, Johan feels it too.
.93 miles per hour. You could hear the snap of the fastball hitting Redmond's glove up here. And they'll stand again.
Johan having one of those days you don't want it to end. This guy could pitch all afternoon long.
Number 17. Trying to give Santana and the Twins some insurance, and he bluffs the bunt and takes strike one.
And C.J. Wilson coming out of the bullpen for Kevin Millwood, his 52nd appearance. Very good, 2.29 earned run average, 6 saves. Now the closer for Ron Washington and the Rangers.
2 strikes to Mauer. It won't happen, but the major league mark for strikeouts in a 9-inning game is 20. Kerry Wood once, Roger Clemens twice. And Santana is done. And Mauer is called out on strikes. If it's his last plate appearance of the series, it'll be a very frustrating series for Joe, who didn't get a hit in the 3 games.
Well, Wilson with outstanding fastball painted a corner down and away on Mauer right there for a strikeout.
Now we know it's not Game 7 of the World Series, but Joe Nathan's got to be going to have to deal with the pressure of following Santana's act with 17 strikeouts over 8 innings. Here's Hunter. Pop up right field, and Cruz with the catch. 2 down. And Jim Rich has a special guest.
The 80-17.
It's been pretty fabulous. You know, a big hats off to the Twins organization for bringing us all together. It's been an enjoyable 4 days. It's been a fast 4 days. We've had a blast, culminating with Gary Gaetti's induction to the Hall of Fame today. It was really special.
Now in the 87 in the ALCS against Detroit, you picked off Mr. Evans at third. Was that something you had anticipated, or was it just a split decision?
No, it was a play that Gary and I put on, and you know what, he wanted to put the play on, so we picked him off, and it came at a really good time in the game. Detroit was getting ready to get after us a little bit. Maybe, you know, people seem to think that it turned things around for us in that series, and we went on to win that game. And then the next night, on Monday night, and we came back here, there was a few people waiting for us when we got here.
That's for sure. And I think a real testament of this team is that 20 years later, how close you guys still are, and what a great group of guys, because time can kind of separate people out, but it hasn't happened with this group.
You know, there's a lot of water goes over the dam in the last 20 years, but, you know, for us, we have a bond because of what we accomplished as a team. We have a bond because of how we reacted to one another in the clubhouse and out on the field. And you know what, 20 years, 10 years, it doesn't, sometimes it seems that long, sometimes it doesn't, but you know, when we get together, it's like we were never apart. And so that's, you know, we're gonna hold on to that for a very, very long time. And for people that you know haven't been able to go through something like this, don't know really how special this is to us.
Well, thank you very much as an outsider, but as a fan, we appreciate it. You always have a special place in our hearts, as you guys were the first. Dick and Bert, back up to you.
Thank you, Jimmy.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, Tim.
Yeah, you know what's so great about that play, and I've seen it many times, it's the pitch by Juan Berenguer that got Evans to kind of lean because it was down and in, and you know, Lodge kind of backhanded it, and then the quick throw over to Rat. And as a base runner, you see that ball in the dirt, your first reaction is it might be a wild pitch. So it worked out to perfection.
3-2. And Morneau draws a walk, his third straight walk. So Morneau 0 for 1, and the 1 was a deep fly to center field. And here comes Cuddyer. You know, it's so many interesting things about that play. The execution of the pitch, as you said, but also Gary Gaetti prompting Joe Brinkman that something's going to be happening, the third base ump at the time. And then to hear Timmy tell it, Gary put the play on. Typically, though, isn't it a catcher who would, you know, get a handful of dirt or whatever and throw it to signal everybody that the play is on?
No, I mean, Rat can see Evans maybe leading off too far, and with a left-handed hitter up, you know, it's an easy play for a catcher. It just so happened that ball was in the dirt. Now, if the ball is up in the zone, Evans may not have made that first step toward home plate. So the timing was right for the Twins, as the timing was right in that whole playoff and World Series.
To this day, and you know, I've seen a lot of Twins baseball over the last 24 years. It's the only time I've seen the Twins put that play on and pick a runner off third base. Hadn't happened before and hasn't happened since.
Nice going, Rat. And Lodge.
2-0 to Cuddyer. Twins need some breathing room here. Cuddier's given them the 1-0 lead. See what he can do to change the scoreboard again. 2-1.
And Darrell Evans, wherever you are.
To the right field corner. Cruz with a fair ball catch to end the inning. It'll be a 1-0 lead for Joe Nathan to save in the ninth.
Well, you see the 17 strikeouts by Johan Santana. 112 pitches in the 8 shutout innings for Johan. 83 strikes. Cuddyer giving the Twins a 1-0 lead. Now for Joe Nathan, making his 53rd appearance. 26 saves. His 26th save came back 2 weeks ago in Cleveland. Excuse me, here against the Indians. His 26th save.
First pitch lifted to center, and if Hunter sees it, he'll catch it. One away. The last 6 outs that Santana got were strikeouts. He struck out the side in the 7th. He struck out the side in the 8th. And Nathan gets the first pitch out here in the 9th.
That's a lot of K's right there. A new club record.
The club record for consecutive strikeouts in a game is 7. Now the streak would have been broken, of course, with Sosa's double. But my goodness, what an afternoon for Johan Santana. Here's Kinsler. And Kinsler tried to tie it up with that swing. Capable of doing that. He's got 15 home runs.
Well, for Joe Nathan, he pitched here on Friday night against the Rangers. 1 shutout inning in the Twins win over the Rangers. Threw 13 pitches in that outing.
One strike from Nathan to Kinsler. Right off the end of the bat. Morneau to Nathan. Safe at first. Joe overstepped the bag and he might have hurt himself. No, he's all right. Nathan overran the bag and then tried to reach back for it.
Oh, this ball had a lot of spin on it. Watch Justin try to feed Nathan, and Joe, instead of stopping, kind of reached back. Now, if he caught that ball right here, I guess one thing you learn, just keep going. But you see Joe reaching back, and that allows that umpire to say safe.
And an error charged to Nathan. And Wilkerson comes to the plate. Kinsler with a good lead at first. Swing and a foul, 1 strike.
A lot of times in the 9th inning, you'll have a manager say, hey, take a strike. But so far, all 3 hitters against Nathan have jumped on that first pitch.
Good call by first base umpire Adam Dowdy.
No, it wasn't. It's a
It was the
bad call.
correct call.
Okay.
Runner goes. And a strike called, no throw. Kinsler with his 6th steal in 7 tries, and the tying run is in scoring position.
Take another look at the play right there. You want to stop, but Joe trying to find the ball and the bag at the same time. Couldn't find the bag. Kinsler, yeah, I had him 16 for 16 now in stolen bases attempts.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I was reading the next player's line. 16 of 16.
Mike Redmond going out to Joe Nathan, just reminding him what sign they're using with a runner at second base, as Red will put down more than one sign.
Wilkerson struck out twice against Santana. Time called at the plate. Kinsler with a couple of feints toward third base in the middle of Nathan's stretch.
Got Nick Punto playing a deep shortstop, so Kinsler, who has great speed, kind of jockeying back and forth. And Joe, as a pitcher, you want to look more than just once at that second base runner. Only the 2nd Texas Ranger to be at second base in this ball game.
Blocked by Redmond, 1-2.
Nice stop right there by Redmond.
Looks like the Yankees are going to beat Detroit. It's 9-3 in the bottom of the 8th inning, and it's tied at 2 in the bottom of the 9th in St. Petersburg between the Indians and the Devil Rays. 1-2, Nathan to Wilkerson. Lifted foul and out of play. Kinsler with again a fake toward third base as if he might steal.
Saw Joe Nathan and Nick Punto kind of make eye contact right there. A lot of times that runner gets off too far. Punto will try the daylight play with the open glove. Twins 1 and out right here.
1-2 to Wilkerson. And you were right on. They put the play on, and
well, Nick Punto actually lifted his leg like the pitcher and said, do the old spin around at shortstop. See Nick Punto right there at the top of your screen, and that's what Joe did.
Two and two. Not much offense in this series. The Twins won 2-1 2 nights ago, scoring their runs on a ground out and a wild pitch. Twins didn't score last night, and a 1-0 ball game in the series finale. Got him looking. Wilkerson thought it was outside. Out number 2.
While painting the corner is Joe Nathan, picking up a huge strikeout right here. Redmond sitting out there. And sometimes there's 2 plates up there. And Nathan hit the second one.
Okay, nicely put. That looked like it was a little outside. 2 down, and here's Michael Young. Already proven to be one of the best young clutch hitters in the game, and he's in a clutch spot here this afternoon. Strike 1, buckled on a breaking ball.
We've seen Michael Young the first 2 games of this series basically hit what is given to him. A lot of hits going toward right field. Torrey Hunter shading him a little bit toward right center.
Two strikes.
Well, Young struck out 3 times against Santana.
Two strikes to Michael Young.
Went back to the slider, see if he would chase after it, but he did not.
One and two. 2 and 2.
The 17 strikeouts by Santana, the 1 for Joe Nathan so far, breaking a Twins single game record for 9 innings, most strikeouts in a game. Now with 18, Joe would like to make it 19.
2 and 2 to Young. Got him! And the Twins take the series 2-1.
He kept going to that slider until Young finally swung. And for Michael Young, 4 strikeouts in the ball game. A great pitching performance by Johan Santana, and Joe Nathan picking up his 27th save. What a great win for the Twins.